not sure how to go about this. So I've been sending myself emails. I have 2 cell phones and a Google Watch. Went from having no cell phone, but being that some of my videos, by the time I go to upload them, have been messed with for a long time now. My Google Drive, before my mom ever passed away, was being messed with. And I had stopped virtually even using my cell phone because I wanted to give my mom my full attention. I was told she was put on hospice. I never got told that by her, but she did pass away soon after. I mean, I got told that right before Mother's Day, and she died by December. The fact that currently, since she passed away, my inheritance and a will, where Utah does not use a will registry. Nothing has worked like you would think. And that's the saddest part, to know that my mother created a will. And that's the shock of it, is to know that you can hire an attorney, have a will, think you have an estate, and on the paperwork it's utilized like saying it's the trust. And in fact, the sheriffs that evacuated me from my property, that I'm the beneficiary, they didn't even let me take anything of any value. I had to leave everything behind. It's just a sad state in America to know that in America, as an American citizen, but somebody who was born in Fillmore, Utah, that representing somebody as myself, because I'm not a Temple Mormon, with my mom passing away, apparently I have no protection now. Ever since my brother, William Sheppard Jr., has taken over the In Your Mind technology, the remote viewing, based on my experience of 47 years of investigation of anything and everything within my money that I was supposed to get, my mom, which she died not getting. It's a sad state in America to realize that as a woman, especially in the Latter-day Saint Church, you can't own anything. Otherwise, why wouldn't they have a will registry? To know that my mother worked so hard, and so did I, to be independent. To know that I never was late in the 10 years I had my own property, that I created into a will. I thought into a trust that was supposed to be to protect my daughter, Malia. But I do believe this is a hate crime also. I believe that because my daughter's transgender, that not only did leadership in the LDS church break in to her room, because to say that I would have allowed you to take pictures and her zip drives, or what was it called, the flash drives, but to know that the police in Aurora, in doing the report, didn't hold them accountable. And everything in my story keeps being where they utilize the police to harm me and my children. To know that they do it on school grounds, to first graders, to innocent children. But to know that they'll stick you in a box like they did me, to create you into submission. To know that they'll put you in the hospital, have you raped and tortured in a hospital. They threaten you in your life if you don't do what they say. They are the true Stepford wives. The men believe they own you. It is a prostitution ring in America. The Latter-day Saints are mobsters. This is a mobster organization that masquerades as a non-profit. They are a profitable organization that has stolen my money, continues to want to steal my inheritance, that apparently wanted me homeless so bad, that calling any and every attorney, which there was none, not even one, so far that represented me at all in my best interest. Instead, I got demanded to take down my YouTube videos, which I said I would not. So they withdrew and charged me $4,000 to tell me to be evicted immediately. They will always be on another Temple Mormon side. You're not allowed to own anything. They believe they own you. They human traffic. And the fact that human services keeps the difference in people's child support without giving any representation for attorneys, that demands you to sign a piece of paper, which I refused, during the time where I did accept help while they were investigating my money. At every turn for 47 years in my augmented reality of Susan Sheppard, they don't do what's right. They tell you to do what's right so they can steal, impersonate, pretend that they care. They're the most inhumane, uncaring, unkind, unsympathetic, unempathetic, male chauvinistic people you could ever meet, because they believe that you have to talk through them to even talk to God. As a female, you're not allowed to own anything, and my story is the proof of that. The proof that they use the system to now make me into a criminal, and I've never done anything to break the law. To imagine, I never even was late. I never shut off, at least. My utilities. Never. And yet the minute my mom died, my brother, William Sheppard Jr., started being so abusive. Literally after the funeral, he started arguing with me about what was in the will, whether I would be able to have my ashes put with my mother or not. He asked me to be quiet. He said he couldn't stand hearing my voice. He asked me to shut up. He demanded that I be quiet. At the dinner, or the luncheon that I paid for after the funeral, which they call a burial, he interrupted as I was reading. He wouldn't even let me speak. At every turn, he has shown what an abusive person he is. That he believes that anything and everything he says is more important than anything a female, especially a beneficiary. But especially more and more aggressive he got every time he would come over. He literally told my mom, started demanding her around, gaslighted her, to know that she actually chose to choose the right. She really meant CTR, choose the right. She worked for the prophet of the Latter-day Saint Church downtown Salt Lake City. She believed in being honorable, truthful, factual, like a product tester, like a person that was supportive of gays and transgender and anyone to their belief. She didn't threaten me if I drank coffee or tea. She didn't threaten me if I didn't go to church. She was supportive, kind, caring, as empathetic as she knew how, as she felt like she was a robot in this Stepford Wives Club. As I just attempted to assist her, but to know that as she passed away, I would show up to the hospital and have someone who said he was a Dave chaplain, his badge said his name was Dave, and then he was a chaplain, as he did a Latter-day Saint ceremony with my brother, ran me off out of the hospital, told me I had to go back and pack, that I need to leave immediately. The fact that I was there for my mom as she passed didn't matter. The fact that they wouldn't even let me be alone in the room with my mother, as I was there for 20 years going back and forth from my property here in Colorado to Utah, on average about every 90 days, making sure that my mother wasn't put into a home, that she was well taken care of. I was the one who sold properties, who paid for and gave my mother money to ensure that she could live on her own. I helped assist to make sure and ensure that she did die in her home, just as she wished. The fact that I would have to repeat myself 3 times of exactly the events that happened as she passed away. Like as if I was the one, when in fact, other people are the ones wanting to take credit for causing her aneurysm. The fact that people get paid from rape, torture, and murder in America is an embarrassment to Americans in the United States of America. The fact that there's a rape game. The fact that the pedophile ring of the Latter-day Saint Church and these mobsters continue to get away with stealing from females, making sure and ensuring that you have no ownership rights, as they must believe that they own you. Their behavior shows as such. Otherwise, my mother's will, and there would be a will registry in the state of Utah. But the fact that I can't find an attorney to represent me, and now they want to put me in prison after continually threatening my life day and night since my mother passed away, to have to hear my father and my brother's voice for 47 years and your mind technology, but to know that through remote viewing as I traveled around the world, I know that people know who I am all around the world. I also know that my money's been spent to help people all around the world. So to not give me access to my money and to believe that now I'm going to list it as a cult and a terrorism organization based on what's been happening to me. And it's now my story and my testimony that based on my story and what's happening, that they must be listed as mobsters. They no longer can be listed, I don't believe, as a non-profit organization or even as a religion. And my story must prove that. The fact that I can't find representation as they want to threaten to kill me, to steal my assets, my money, and my inheritance. This is Susan Sheppard, the augmented reality of Susan Sheppard. Diamonds in the Sky, Susie Q. Shepp. I hope we'll find justice for beautiful females in America, especially that one day people will know the truth and the facts must be proven. And our voices should never be silenced into submission. To expect me to ever believe that I'd have to go through a man to talk to God, call me a dog. I'm not your pet. God bless America.